Do you believe one of the reasons women are inferior or subordinate is because a lot of religions? Could you think of anything in the Bible that...
I mean, I think of one of, like, the main, like, women versus men, like, thing in the Bible would be, like, Adam and Eve and how she is the one that got tempted and ate the apple. So it's, like, women, we, like, are portrayed with having this, like, innately, like, not bad, but, like, something that we have to tame, like, this curiosity that we have to tame in order to be good, you know?
Honestly, no one would be able to tell you, like, where this really came from, like, for sure. So, you know, I really can't tell you.
I don't know, I think looking back in history from, like, a biological point of view, men have usually been stronger. And so I think as a human race, we have this preconception that men are going to be stronger and then more capable of doing hard stuff like that.
I'm not sure of the exact verse or chapter in the Bible, but I know there's somewhere in the Bible where it says that the man is the head and the woman is the shoulders, or she is the support. So the man is leading things and the woman's role is to support him in that. And I've seen this in my own life. I've seen examples of this in my own life where people take this as it meaning that women are in a way inferior to men. I had a friend last year and we argued about this, and we were talking about the way that we would run our households, and she believes that a man in a relationship should be able to make the final decision on anything. And the woman, she can give her advice, she can give her opinion, but in the end it's ultimately the man's decision. So he is the head of the relationship. He is the head of the household. And so I definitely feel as if that's one reason that women are portrayed as being inferior.
Do you believe men are better decision makers and they should be the head of the household?
Of course, I don't think that men are better decision makers because they're not. A lot of it has to do, when it comes in terms of head of household, and, like, I think that is just, it's based on, like, the specific family and how, like, the men and women interact, who is a breadwinner. In terms of decision making, I wouldn't say men or women are better. It's just, it's an individual trait that someone may have over someone else.
Well, I think it depends what we're looking at, because I think with certain things in a household, actually the woman, is the better decision maker, especially when it comes to taking care of the children or making financial decisions.
There's a common misconception with them that basically says that women are impulsive or too emotional or make certain decisions, but I don't think that's the case. I think in many situations, honestly, I think women make better decisions in many situations, especially social ones, because, you know, I think that women are better with people, because what Tim was saying earlier, he was saying that women are better caregivers, and, you know, that translates into, I guess, the social.
I don't believe that men are better decision makers. Again, I definitely don't think they're better decision makers.
In the Bible, women are expected to be modest in comparison to men. Also, when it comes to premarital sex, men aren't criticized for having sex as much as women. Why do you think that double standard exists?
Only women can have kids, so women are more bound to, like, that biological aspect of it. So if they do, like, engage in, like, a sexual relation, then if they do get pregnant, that's like evidence that it happened, you know. And then a guy can just, like, physically he's still the same, like nothing changes. So I think that's a big aspect of it. Women, our bodies are, like, made to, like, have kids, and, like, we're, like, biologically bound to, like, a lot of, like, our reproductive organs, and men really aren't. So I think that has to do a lot with it, and also, like, it just reinforces, like, male control. Like, it's just, like, control, like, in the sexual aspect of our lives.
I can't really say how this double standard came about, because I'm sure it's been around for a while. But in terms of the Bible, yes, it does say that women should be modest, and there are verses, especially in the New Testament, well, both Old and New Testament, that really outline how a woman should dress, how she should behave in the household and within society. But I do think from a societal point of view, for or our modern times, it is wrong that a double standard exists, because in the Bible, and not just in the Bible, but in other texts, even in the Quran, it suggested that both male and female should respect themselves sexually and morally, and that sex should not happen until after marriage.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do, well, I guess from a social standpoint, a lot of it has to do with the whole power thing, I guess, it sounds kind of weird, but I guess the more women you have sex with, the more powerful you seem, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is for, I guess, males. But for the whole females thing, I guess a lot is expected of females. Like, I guess, yeah, what he said, like, they're supposed to be modest and everything, but yeah, that double standard shouldn't exist. I don't think that's good.
Women are expected to take care of the household, children, just everything. Even if she chooses to work, she's still kind of expected to do all of those things. Why do you believe women care for children more than men? Do you believe it's something really in like our nature, our biology that makes us do that, or it's just like the way our culture has constructed us to do it?
I would say maybe it's like 10% innate and like 90% culture, because of course, like being the one that the baby is like developing within your body, I think you do have this like more of a connection to it than the male would. But it's definitely societal, because if you look at like Western culture, where women are a lot more liberal with their like feelings on kids and having kids, or like a more traditional society where women, doesn't matter what they do, they make sure like okay, I'm gonna have kids, like they set out that like plan for their life. So I think a lot of it is cultural, because there's girls I know that don't want to have kids. They just don't have that like feeling of childbirth, but there's some that like they like no matter what they do, they want kids. So I think I would say the only like biological part is the fact that it's growing in you, and maybe that would like make you feel more connected to it. But I don't think that you can. I don't think every woman is the same.
I think with anything, it's both, but I think it's a large part of biology. A woman is going to carry the baby for 9 months, give birth to the child. The child's first, real human interaction is going to be with their mother, and then even after the pregnancy, women have to stay home because they're recovering. That's a pretty traumatic experience.
A lot of women honestly understand the fact that they carry the child and that it is their child. They're the ones who held them for 9 months, and they're the ones who are, I guess, supposed to take care of the child and have the whole nurturing, gene, I guess. And since women established this, a lot of women established this, and that's their domain. But there's some people out there, there's some males out there that do take care of children too. So, it could go both ways. It mostly depends on the situation, but it's usually both.
A little bit of both. I know it's a cop-out. It's a little bit of both. I think, there's this idea that women are more nurturing than men. They're more compassionate, more caring. Just one of the reasons why women, as far as like nonprofits go, you usually see women that are volunteering and that are out there more so than men. As far as the child rearing, that could have something to do with the fact that she's actually carried the child. She's more connected to that child, so that makes it biological. But I believe that it's also cultural. Definitely. Cooking. What does that have to do? That has nothing to do with biology. That's definitely cultural. So yeah.
Let's go.
I didn't get it.
Sorry.
Overqualified. Anybody called?
No.
I don't know what we're gonna do. The mortgages due here and back home. We don't have the money.
thinking about that. I'm going to borrow the money from Pat or Angela.
No, you're not.
We borrow money from each other all the time. It's not a big deal.
Sheila.
It'll give us breathing room and we need
Sheila, you must not have heard what I said in the Bahamas. No. I'm gonna get the money. Okay?
You really need to get your pride out of this.
I'll handle this.
I've never seen you like this.
You know, we should have never left Colorado. I should have followed my first mind.
So you're blaming me for this, huh?
I'm gonna make some calls.
Troy!
Damn it, Sheila, give me some space!
Don't you ever talk to me like that again.